Believe in flying saucers? NASA will attempt to launch a flying saucer on Thursday, or at least something like it.
Let's talk about that.
The Low Density Supersonic Decelerator, LDSD, is a saucer-shaped balloon big enough to fill a football stadium, and scientists hope the device will help land humans on Mars one day.
I heard balloon, so, like, do they mean like a helium balloon, or what kind of chemicals inside that?
I don't think it would be a helium balloon. Low Density Supersonic Decelerator.
So what exactly does that mean? And how many people did this scare when they were prototyping it?
If it's just a balloon, does it just, like, casually float up? Like, are we just going to casually float to Mars?
Yeah,
like,
we're just going to float above everything.
That's the main thing, like, stopping us from Mars and Mars expedition right now. It's such a long expedition.
It's 4 months, isn't it? 6 months?
No, it is so long, because, I mean, and there's so many things.
Well, I mean, just going there, isn't it just 6 months just to get there?
Because even with our current fuel capacities, they have to, while they don't do a Mars mission right now, they have to send the people up. They have to have enough fuel to get them to Mars. And then our current limitations, they can't bring them back. So they have to send up another vehicle, land it on Mars, which takes doubles the time for the, for just the time to get there, pretty much. It just doubles the time of the expedition. And then they have to get in that other ship and come back.
Well, there's also radiation that you have to worry about.
I mean, there's many points, but it's just such a long expedition.
Well, have you heard about the private industry actually planning on doing it within the next 5 years? I mean, they're saying that they have the proper funding. It's a lot faster than government.
Yeah, I mean, like, the private industries are killing it right now. Just, I don't know what... And even Obama stated that his expectation for planning a Mars trip, 2030.
That's so far away.
That's in their contract. That is... We're running on outdated technology.
Yeah.
And this, I feel like maybe it is a step in the right direction.
I mean,
it really cuts down on the fuel.
I feel like the way we're going to get to Mars isn't via a ship. I think we're going to do it via quantum mechanics. Because, have you heard Google made the first quantum computer?
Yeah.
It's all based on just the quantum theory, and it's so just so recent of a scientific find. I feel like we're going about this the wrong way. I feel like we need not to make a ship, because you're going to expose people to radiation. They're going to isolate them from everybody else for 4 months, then go there, and then, that could take years, and then come back, all that isolation. Have you heard about the Russian, back, I forget however many years ago it was, there were 2 Russian people inside of a space probe. And they actually had to quit their mission because they were up there so long and together all the time that one of them actually communicated back to base that they had to quit because he felt like he was actually going to kill this other person.
And not to mention the fact that just being in space, being in that low gravity, it does really adverse effects to the body. Like, we have to find some way to simulate our atmosphere inside these suits. Like, there's so much bone deterioration because you're not using your muscles. There's not enough gravity. We're not used to that low gravity that you're not using your muscles or anything like that. Your muscles deteriorate. It's a well-known fact that whenever people come back from these lunar missions and Mars missions and all these space exploration contracts and everything, that they're 2 to 3 inches shorter just because they don't use their muscle mass. And not to mention I'm sure there's got to be adverse nutritional effects because you can't eat normal food in space.
No, you can't because a lot of it works off gravity.
Yeah, and have you seen how they have to drink water? In zero gravity, they have to spray up little driplets of water and catch it in the air and eat it. Really, it's not fluid. It's like a gelatin / solid, just because of all the low gravity.
Well,
still at its base, it's fluid. And see, that's their biggest problem. But one thing, according to authorities in Boston, the target of terror suspect Usama Rahim wasn't the police, as first thought. Apparently some guy, actually seen this thing and just like flipped out.
I know. That had to be so terrifying.
I know,
to
like testing this thing or anything like that. Like,
well,
you know they had to fly it over property. And I'm sure it was a declassified project. I'm sure they've probably been working on it for a good year or two at least.
Yeah.
I mean, it had to have scared some people. Just seeing this massive football-sized UFO just in the air. And I'm really curious to learn what kind of, like, because I know it can't just be like a helium-based solution getting to Mars. There's no way we could float there. There has to be some sort of propulsion system. The good thing about it being a balloon, though, and I think my thoughts on it, is why they did a balloon top thing, is for the lower mass. Be less weight, less fuel needed to propel it to the same place.
Yeah, because it's going to use up all that fuel so fast.
Yeah, that's their biggest problem.
So they're going to release it. Well, we don't know that for sure, but
they got to have some sort of propulsion.
Yeah. Now, do we have like an actual picture of that, or is that just an artist rendering?
That's
an artist rendering.
Yeah, it's just concept.
I mean, it looks really nice, but I mean, it looks like it's above the atmosphere. And it still has that balloon top shape.
Yeah.
Now, this could just be them trying to make it look, fancy.
But I do notice that it says designed to test landing technologies. Maybe they're not using it just for like the exploration, the getting there. Maybe they're using it as some sort of landing vehicle, or maybe like a return vehicle. That would be nice if you could have a point where we could propel this LDSD, this Low Density Supersonic Decelerator, to a point with the main ship, ship that's going to get us there. And we go to like, say, a halfway mark. And we use this thing to get there and then rendezvous back with that. I think that would be a really great idea.
Yeah.
But you've also got some concerns with that as well. Like, what if something happens and this thing doesn't make it there?
Yeah.
I mean, you're putting people's life at stake here.
Well, that's going to be some pretty hard exterior, too, because it looks like it's not made of anything that sturdy.
I mean, no, that's why from looking at the picture, I know that there could be no way this was designed as a launch vehicle. There's no way. It does not have the aerodynamics. It does not have like the heat protection, because I mean, entering and exiting the atmosphere, mainly entering, puts a lot of G-force in a very extreme amount of heat. Like they have these like huge, like 3 or 4 inch thick